Good morning, everybody. My name is Jesse Warren. Thank you for being here at the conference today. And this is my presentation on the Kaleidoscope Group Proposal. In 2022, a rising number of American youth identify as LGBTQ+. Unfortunately, that community experiences adolescence different than their heterosexual and cisgender counterparts. The transgender and non-binary community in particular is under-researched and arguably face the most detrimental repercussions for living their truth, which is why I have chosen this community as the focus of my group. On top of the normative yet challenging experiences of self-discovery, they face issues including discrimination from peers, employers, and family rejection. This results in detrimental effects on the youth's self-esteem that they will take with them into adulthood. Hence, transgender and non-binary youth experience a higher rate of mental health issues. The group will be closed-ended. Members need to sign up in advance prior to the meeting. 10 is the maximum number of participants to ensure small group feel and participation. The duration of the group will be 1 hour once a month for 6 weeks. There is no material needed for this group. Kaleidoscope will have an agenda for each session. However, if there is a topic of interest in the group, such as a relevant news article, I want to give the youth the opportunity to take more control over the group and discuss what they are interested in. As a facilitator, I would keep in mind that the group is not for my benefit, and although they are young, group members should be given autonomy of choice. Kaleidoscope has clear objectives in order to reach its maximum potential. Group objectives help measure the effectiveness of the group. They are as follows. Group members will build trust and a sense of peer connectedness. Group members will be able to identify and share their hopes for the future. Group members will have the opportunity to share and learn from one another. Group members will explore basic coping skills to handle intense emotions. Rationale for need within the community. The purpose of my group, Kaleidoscope, is to create a safe space for transgender and non-binary youth ages 14 to 18 to be in community with one another, share lived experiences, and practice basic coping skills. In 2022, it is estimated that the adult transgender community accounts for 0.3% of the population, approximately 700,000. The estimate for transgender youth is significantly higher, at 1.8%. The transgender and non-binary community are particularly under-researched. There's discrimination that results in detrimental effects on the youth's self-esteem that translates into adulthood, and they have an increased rate of higher mental health struggles. My support group is a mix between socialization and education. Individuals may have their own personal goals for joining, but that is not the agenda for the entire group. With this combination, members will increase their self-confidence by engaging in conversations with others, while engaging in educational activities facilitated by the social worker or clinician. I chose this type of group because it allows for a flexible agenda with the ability of participation of the group members within reason. Group members can tailor each meeting discussion to what they want. Evidence-based relevance to social work interventions. There is evidence that supports interventions targeting the disproportionate distress associated with LGBTQ+ folks by incorporating psychoeducation. This entails discussing the reasons for minority-related stress. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, interventions in group work should also be used to promote personal resilience and reduce stress because that contributes to health disparities among transgender youth. The main strength of this approach is that it encourages interaction between peers of similar experiences whom they would most likely not encounter otherwise. The relationship between social support and transgender individuals' well-being has been researched by multiple professionals. According to Dang, the more social support they believed they had, the higher they scored on the self-esteem scale. Discussion of group evaluation. I believe that termination of the group needs to be as well planned and thought out as other group activities. Other group activities, by the way, include free journaling, coping skills and distress techniques such as deep breathing, and creating vision boards. Especially with my group being a vulnerable population, insensitive termination from the facilitator may ruin members' feelings about the group. In the first session, I handed out a pre-group assessment, and in the sixth session, I gathered info from a post-group assessment that determined whether the group objectives were reached. Additionally, I asked the group for feedback on what they liked and what could have been improved by rating each activity from favorite to least favorite. I think there may be barriers to this group due to the age range and nuances of working with the LGBTQ+ community. Because my group's target population is high school age, 14 to 18, anyone under the age of 18 would require parents' consent via a signed consent form to join the group. However, many transgender and non-binary youth may be seeking refuge from an unsupportive family, so this could pose as an issue if parents don't want their children involved in the group. I think this could be somewhat avoided in the fact that how the group is marketed. The facilitator should post flyers in high schools as well as get the assistance of guidance counselors, school clinicians who might know exactly who would be interested in this group. Parents also may be able to connect with the facilitator before the first group meeting because they won't be able to accompany their children into the sessions for confidentiality. As most of the participants are minors, I wanted to make sure the group was free of cost. This group does not require much material, only a few art materials, and will be located at the local library, which is free. However, this could pose a problem with confidentiality because it's a public place. Okay, so community collaboration, a relevant connection between the group design and the need within the community. What will the group provide to the community to enhance its strengths? So, for those of us that aren't informed and for those of us who are, we know that American legislation is currently attacking trans and non-binary youth. Kaleidoscope gives this community a much needed space to grieve. They need this now more than ever. Some examples of anti-trans legislation are that Governor Greg Abbott of Texas signed a bill that requires investigating parents for child abuse if they provide certain medical treatment to their transgender children, such as any gender-affirming care, therapy, hormones, etc. Additionally, right here in Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis signed the Don't Say Gay bill, banning LGBTQ+ discussions in K-3 classrooms. This means that when folks are teaching a group project, such as a family tree, and one of the children has two dads or something of that nature, they are not allowed to do the activity because this bill believes that discussing anything like that would be pushing the gay agenda onto other children in the classroom. So this is why we need these groups, and I propose that we use this model to create even more kaleidoscopes in different states. Thank you for listening.